OFA presents The Inner Circle.
And away we go!
Starring Coach Ant and Coach Rel.
Like I said, man, I literally tell people, hey yo, if you're not locked in with God, don't get married. You wasting your time.
Yeah, bro.
You might as well just go ahead and do common law,
Mm-hmm.
the 10-year joint.
Yeah.
Hey, we was together 10 years. Technically, we married, depending on what state that you in.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of that, marriage shouldn't be a thing. Because here's the thing, like I said before, and I remember saying this in a Bible study about 7 years ago, and all the women got mad at me. But it's the truth. If that man do not know God, the marriage will fail because the marriage don't have nothing to stand on. One of the most terrible things that I hear in the faith is when like, let's both chase after God. You applying that God is running away from you. That's stupid.
Yeah.
Y'all both need to be centered in God. Because here's the thing. Like if you talk to a Christian, people that's Christian that was married and is successful,
Mm-hmm.
not the ones that was cheating and all that, but the one that was successful in it, they'll tell you, God checked my heart. So I repented to God first and then I apologized. Therefore, I did away with whatever transgression that was there.
Mm-hmm.
I damn near forgot that had happened.
Mm-hmm.
That don't happen outside of God, bro. You're not about to sit there and forget nothing. You about to sit there and hold it, and then soon when somebody do something remotely close to it, you about to look at it and go, it look like you about to do something again.
Right.
And it's like that's not the case. You got to be able to lock into those things. So
I agree.
that's that.
I think that our contemporary culture has trivialized so much. Y'all was speaking about this on the last episode. We see things for like the surface level, and we can't like exist beyond the surface. We can't, exist beyond the surface. And I said it to make the point that, when you have a relationship with God, you're submitting to something that's greater than you. You kind of lessen your ego and follow Him. So by submitting to God, you're saying that I'm not the best thing since sliced bread. I know I'm flawed, and you answer to somebody. But we think that nowadays, we get married for the likes, the comments, the emotional fulfillment, to sort of fill voids. And it's like if you don't have a relationship with God, like who can I run to? I've been listening to that song by Escape a lot. Who can I run to? That's my joint. But nah, seriously, like, who do you have to kind of tell you that your shit does stink? You're not as special as you think you are.
Come on.
You are flawed.
Come on.
You're not as pretty as you think you are.
Yeah.
And even if you are, your looks aren't your greatest capacity. I think that having a relationship with God. I look at my past relationships when I was like in my teens, earlier 20s, and I could have been more intentional about identifying where they stood religiously or spiritually. Now it's like, yo, if you don't have a relationship with God, I don't know what I can do with you.
There's nothing I could do with you.
I also got to go into that a little bit more because I hear a lot of people say that. I know Ant does too, being a minister. Because it kills me when people say, like, he has to, like, I watch shows and he has to have a relationship with God. But what does that mean?
To have a relationship.
Yeah, like, think of, like, when you in a relationship as a woman, right? And she's like, oh, you got to have a relationship with God. All right. He reads your Bible and he prays. Is that good enough? Like
that'd be the issue.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's a relationship with God. I pray.
Yeah, that's the issue. Because here's the thing, like, those things don't even gauge your relationship with God.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
so what gauges your relationship with God from your perspective?
Like, literally, your heart, mind, and soul. It pours out in everything, y'all. Like, if your heart is locked in with God, you literally have all three. That's why God said, love me with all your heart, mind, and soul. He said it for a reason. Because when all three of those things is locked in, you see the world from a biblical worldview, right? Even going back to the marriage portion, right? Back in the day, biblically, how they used to marry each other, they didn't even have no rings. They tied the string around each other's finger and had a feast.
I'm going to save me some money. Let me stop.
I literally, like, at my old church, I had broke this down. The next day, his name Dave. Shout out to Dave if you're watching this. He married his now wife with a string on the finger. Say, yo, I can't afford a ring. Would you marry me?
Is he bald?
Nah, he got braids.
All right.
He actually from Philly. String around her finger, had a feast. My pastor did the vows and all that. There you go. And then they took pictures at the on the Franklin the museum steps or the art
Franklin
museum
Institute?
steps.
All right.
Get it right there. Here's my thing.
Go ahead.
Like, even when it comes to weddings, I feel like people make the wedding bigger than the actual marriage. I feel like the only people that need to be at your wedding is the ones that will help y'all get through a rocky place. You ain't got to pray for no extra plates. You ain't got to be in there. Whoever got an attitude because they wasn't invited, respectfully. If me and my wife is going through it and y'all not here to help, then you can't be here. Now, here's the thing. You know where you invite them people to? The reception.
Yeah.
You can a reception. And the reception don't got to be right after the marriage. We could be married for 2-3 years and have a reception later. Come to the reception.
It's the show, the spectacle.
But, and that's the issue.
Mm-hmm.
People, back to the chemical, the motivation and all that. Once that chemical go away, or where you don't feel that high, that euphoria, now is my marriage is a little rocky. No, it's not rocky. You just came off the high of the wedding day, and you realize that the person you with, you weren't supposed to be with in the first place.
Yeah.
But if you got those 5, it could be 5, 6 people that you in the justice of peace with. And you trust the person that like people be having random pastors locking with somebody.
They do all this time.
Random
Yeah.
pastors, bro. Like all that stuff is cringy to me.
Same.
Like get somebody that actually lock them with y'all and disciple that y'all trust and let them do the.
But to speak on it from an outsider, because you guys are, I'm not there yet, but you guys are in it. For me, the reason why it makes me like, or us outsiders so skeptical of it is because if you're logical, it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't.
And then a lot of girls that I ask, and they're like, I've asked a lot of girls, why do you want to be married? You can't tie it to anything other than the day. So why would a man that has any sensibility about himself go and invest in this? And like you said, to even break it down further, a man that isn't accountable to anything, he shouldn't be getting married.
No.
He really shouldn't.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, and that's why I think it brings up to the women where it's like that woman, that relationship is doomed to fail because that thing was based on feeling. It wasn't based on a plan. I want to be married. I'm willing to do this. He's willing to marry me. All right. You are spiritual. You are connected to God. So if you're connected to God and he's not, where are y'all tied to?
Right.
So when you're complaining and saying, let's go to church, let's talk to the pastor, let's talk to Aunt about this situation, and he's like, I don't need to talk to Aunt. That man ain't of my cloth.
Then what are we
talking
There's
about?
nothing to talk about.
Then you're tied, but he's not. So that relationship is doomed.
Right.
And it should have been productive to you to figure that out in the very beginning, but your feeling superseded the goal, which then I have to question you as a woman of God. Because if an outside, like you already, from a guy outsider looking in, it seemed like you already tainted to the devil. If somebody can spread the word to you and you would marry anybody, because shouldn't you be married to a man of God?
Right.
That's why when like majority of women, like respectfully, when they be talking all that intuition stuff.
What's God in this intuition? Trauma?
Out the window.
Bro, what are we talking about here? Intuition.
Didn't lead you. Intuition didn't lead you on any of these bad decisions. No intuition, but I know he had that girl house. So go get him.
I had a dream.
Go
get him. Go get him. He over there. Go get him. That intuition it only intuition after all the bad shit didn't happen. Right. You know that's called statistics. If I keep doing the same thing, eventually you're gonna catch him in the act.
Bro.
Like I just that is so crazy to me. Why your intuition ain't go off when you met him the first time and he wasn't no good and he was a wolf in pig's clothing? Like, and she's like, come on, man.
Yeah. But so yeah, I saw on this podcast, guy asked these women like, whoever felt their intuition when their man was cheating, hands went up. Who out of those hands that went up, who still felt the intuition when you saw that he was unhappy and
I seen that.
But in that case, your intuition guided your agenda and not like the full, scope of things. But 2, where are we getting our value system from? On the Pivot podcast, one of my favorite podcasts, Rich Paul was talking about how our foundation is gone. Grandma not around no more.
Yep.
We don't get our value system from the church. Social media, you might look at 3 words out of the caption or 3 seconds out of the video. We don't get our value from there. So where do you get the sap from the tree? Where do you get the goodness from the source? And one thing that kind of really helped me go back and identify whether or not I wanted to be married was in grad school. 2020, I was 25 and I did a paper on so I got my master's in social studies education, and historians interview, kind of like this podcast, y'all interviewing. So I interviewed my mom and asked her questions about her relationship or marriage with my dad, and that gave me so much to kind of like hold on to. Funny story, my mom's friend introduced my mom and my dad, my Aunt Sandy, in 1991. My Aunt Sandy was a general manager at Wendy's. So my mom and my dad's first date was at Wendy's for free. My dad ain't had to pay nothing. That was a sign from God. Let me stop. And I just learned so much about my dad and how they did things. So they met in 91, they got married in 92, had my brother in 92, my sister in 93, and me in 95. And my mom broke down how they would share like financial responsibilities, sort of like gender roles. My mom told me that my grandma told my mom, listen, that's your husband. You got some wifely duties. Like, don't withhold that. Don't go to bed mad and all this other good stuff. But like, here I'm getting a value system. What else did my mom say about my dad? My mom loved my dad's ambition. My dad took over my grandpa's company. My grandpa had the first ever black-owned cab company in Pleasantville. My dad took that over after my grandpa passed. So my mom saw, to your point earlier, the qualities. My mom saw that he was a leader. My mom was living with my Aunt Sandy at the time. My dad put down a deposit for my mom's own crib, furnished it. My mom saw his qualities. He didn't just talk it, he walked it.
Yeah.
And so like the vetting process, my grandparents were married. My mom's side got married in 1958. Had my mom in 62 and had my uncle in 67. My grandpa was the only man in the house on my parents' block. So here my mom saw a healthy marriage with my grandma and my grandpa. Mind you, my grandpa was bipolar because he was a foster kid. My grandma, she grew up with some, some, I guess, holes in her being because she was raised by her grandma. But even in spite of that, bipolar, abandonment, my grandparents stayed together. Arguing, fighting, my grandpa, giving my grandma money to tithe. Like, they stuck together on some Al Green, let's stay together, stay together type stuff. My mom and my dad, like, hearing how my dad would like cook dinner, right? He put all the pots and pans on a table. My dad was a chef. So there goes that, like, we think that being equally yoked means being equally financially yoked. No, if it's something where I'm lacking, do you compensate? That togetherness. So again, where are we getting our information from? Are we getting it from social media? Are we getting it from pop culture? Or are we getting it from mom and dad, grandma, grandpa, auntie, and so on and so forth? And that's why I think that our generation is suffering so much with male, female. We relying on, again, all due respect, all due compassion, but we're relying on these LGBT movements plus social media to, like, govern our decision making. That's why we're losing. We're not relying on family history, nor are we relying on anything spiritual. It's just a bunch of made up stuff, and it's like, we suffering, man.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
We don't care about the family anymore, though. That's the problem. We're not going to, like, we said this on the last one. People are showing off their relationships after the dust is settled. So they go into moms and dads and grandma and grandpa and the family, siblings or whatever, once they're married. Like, there are people that are getting married and they're not inviting their family. There are people that are being with somebody for 2 years and showing up to family events, and they'll be like, girl, when you gonna get when you gonna get married, when you gonna be with so-and-so, not knowing that she got a boyfriend back home or around the way, but not telling you about it. They hiding him for whatever reason. They hiding him for, whether they're scared, whether they don't fit the life for what the family would mean. We've distanced, like, they did this a while back when they took you said this on the pod when you said we can't have clubs about school. Forget the clubs about school. They took God out of school.
Yeah, yes, they did.
So once that happened, anything's a free for all because there's nothing governing that thing. And I think that's where me and Ant connected the first time we had a conversation. I said to him, I wouldn't want my daughter to be with somebody like me. Reason being is I get to make up the rules as I go along. Right? You got, as a man, you have to have something to answer to be a good man. If you don't, you're not a good man. It's impossible because that means you're making up the rules, and the man that can make up the rules is just is anything. Yeah, I can say something, and I noticed that this thought came to me. It was funny because it's trivial, but it was full scope. I was dieting, right, trying to lose weight, and I said to myself the morning of, I'm gonna change my cheat day to Friday because I just wanted to. My friend hit me up in the afternoon and was like, yo, we going to do something. We were out, and I'm like, yo, I'm gonna eat this today. Like, we were out and I ate what I wanted. After I already told myself, and I said I'll make up for it later, which means I'm capable of doing anything.
Change the rules.
I can change it whenever I want.
Yeah.
So if I can change the rules for myself to make myself better, if I'm with a girl, I can change the rules with you. If I'm out with the law, I can change the rules to bend to fit to my whim. And that's a scary thing. So I was looking at it as like, well, hell no, I wouldn't want my daughter to be with somebody like that.
Yeah.
I need my daughter to, the difference is the man of God or the man of the religion can make the mistake, but he gonna repent for it. And he gonna really feel as though I'm gonna make a way, I'm gonna make strategies to make sure it doesn't happen again.
Yeah.
Right? From when I did that diet thing, it happened like 2 weeks later because I did it again. I changed what, you know what I mean? So it wasn't until I became understanding of discipline and trying to be structured where I understood how much that really matters. And the focus of this conversation leads to women because I know how much being around them, women lead with emotion. And emotion is the exact same thing. I can change.
Right.
At any moment. You don't know what the difference is as a man. When we prepare ourselves to go meet our girl, we understand we don't know what version of our girl we about to get. When we walk in the crib, she could be happy, she could be upset. There could be something that you got a phone call, your temperament most likely, unless it's like you know somebody really close to you, your temperament most likely, even if somebody's really close to you, your temperament may be the same, and your girl come to you like, you okay? She may sense something's up. But from your demeanor, she may not know it all the way. Versus something happened to her, oh, you know something up, and she's going to be changed, and that's what we come into. And then we had this conversation from the single mom podcast that we did. They were saying what it was like to date a single mom, and I said one of the things that people don't understand about that is, imagine you're dealing with a single mom whose dad is still involved. And he gets her upset. So now you're dealing with a problem that you didn't even have. Like, I didn't cause this situation. So I'm answering to a situation or coming home to a woman who's upset about something I didn't do. Right. You know what I'm saying? So there's so many factors that you got to bring into just even dating women that come with all these things that I don't think they necessarily think about.
Yeah. So the second piece was like the emotional kind of roller coaster that women kind of go on. And the first piece was that you wouldn't want a woman to sort of date a man like you who lacked discipline or accountability. Right. First, I gotta give you your flowers, bro, because I think it takes a lot to even be self-aware. Feel me? Like, to acknowledge that I'm flawed in this area, I need to be better. And I don't know, like that made me feel good hearing that. I can't sort of like, I want to continue to express how happy I even hear that, but I already did. But if I could for like 20 more minutes, I would stop. Nah, because like that's growth. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's really, really important. Two, I'm gonna keep saying I empathize. I have so much compassion, man. Like, I don't know what it's like being a woman in America, a black woman in America. I'll be 30 years old this summer. A woman in, you know, kind of our-ish kind of age range with all the stuff that they got to deal with. When I first started teaching, my mindset was, and people kind of scared me out of interacting with the girls. Mr. Mills, you're a young black man, you're attractive, watch out for the girls. So I would just give them a stiff arm. Sweetheart, I ain't trying to get caught up. I'm gonna just kick it with the fellas. But over time, it's like, yo, they need love too. They need appreciation as well. They need nurturing as well. So over time, I've kind of allowed myself to kind of like pour into the young ladies, which is probably why I coach middle school girls basketball. Can you imagine, bro, the pressures that our teens face now, our girls, because they're sort of the point I made earlier about at least positioning myself to take a woman out. Okay, I go to college, I graduate, I do all this stuff, and like as a man, you gotta just having that cachet behind you.
Mhm.
As a girl, they're judged by everything that they appear. So 10 years old, they playing with Barbies, making cheers and dances. 13, I'm on social media. Cardi B get the love because her body looks a certain kind of way.
Mm.
SZA gets the love because her body looks a certain kind of way. And Lauryn Hill said it. We protect the outer man while the inner man is dying. And so for girls, like you have to be fully developed at 13 because that's what gets the love on social media.
Mm.
And like I really feel for our young girls now, which is why I don't know. I think I lead with a lot more love and compassion now because I just feel for them. So to your point, what's guiding these emotional roller coasters? Is it not getting likes and comments and shares on social media? Is it, my second year of teaching, this was 2019, I taught sophomores, 15, 16-year-old girls. They were saying how they have to dress a certain kind of way because older men give them attention.
Mm.
So you 14, 15, 16, and you got to alter your appearance because you feel creeped out by these guys. So to that emotional roller coaster that our girls go on, I feel for them so bad. And I think that's honestly why, one of the main reasons why I want to do her first. I want to do her first so bad, bro. Like this little cute, little adorable little thing. Let me pour into you.
Yeah.
Let me protect you from the evils of the world.
Mhm.
So, I get it. Again, like I empathize, bro. Like I think it's really unfair. I saw this post on TikTok. I don't know how true it is because I didn't do the research, but they said like women's cycles, they go on like they experience 30 different stages of emotions a month. I don't know how true that is, but I would imagine that it's some truth to that. Let's just say it's like 5 different waves of emotions.
Mhm.
I don't experience that. Or at least I don't
nah,
feel like.
you're not about to-
So again, like
yeah.
man, I don't know. I just feel for him, yo. It's very simple being a man, even though it's complex. But there's a lot of stuff that I ain't got to deal with. So
And then for me, I think people get like a misnomer. I love women to the point that's why I'm so hard on them. Cause like I grew up with women. I love, if anybody asks what my favorite setting is, I love to be around women. Like I love the conversations. I'm a conversationalist. Men don't really say too much. So when I grew up, I used to like be around girls. We used to have conversations. We used to talk. So for me, it's like I love women, and I see the hearts. I see what hardens their heart, but I also know, unfortunately, the difference between men and women is we don't have a clock. They do. So as they have this hardened stance on life and men, and then they come to be 33 to 30, 32 to 35, and then realize maybe I was wrong. No kids. Didn't develop what a relationship really should look like.
yeah,
Why would a man pick you when now he has he built himself up? Because our plight is different, like you said.
Right.
He done built himself up, 35, got a little change, got a house, got a car. He's not going to pick the relationship that's about to be hard because he's about to start questioning you and figure things out. He's going to go for the younger girl that can give him a family.
biology.
Right.
Yeah.
So when I see him and I hear, I already know that 90% of the reason why you feel this way is out of trauma.
Right.
Stuff that didn't happen to you. So for me, it's like, I'm trying to help. I can't save them. I'm trying to get the young girls.
Shouldn't wanna be
Yeah.
saved. Don't say stop, cool.
I'm trying to get the young girls to understand. I don't want you to meet men with a level of hate, regardless of your situation. I want you to meet men with a level of love, but understanding that love ain't meant for all men. And that's why I'm saying it's super important to vet,
Right.
because you don't want to vet wrong. Like if I'm meeting Anthony, depending on when I met him, could be destructive, could be powerful, right? Like Aunt now, if I had a daughter and she went that way, I'd be happy. If she met you, I'd be happy. But you, when you were younger, which you just said,
Savage.
nah. So you know what I'm saying? The vetting process is important, and it doesn't mean that these men are always going to be bad men.
Right.
They have to change. They have that power to change, the evolution to change. But you don't have the privilege of doing that,
Right.
because you can't be with that,
Right.
and you can't wait on that man to change either.
Yeah.
So
I got a question. What's the most like luxury car you could think of?
Most luxury? Yo, I'm more like a clean Range Rover type of boy.
Okay. What's like the qualifications to have a range?
It's a lot of qualifications.
What do you need? What kind of credit score?
Man, you're gonna need 750.
Okay. How much money do you think you have to make a year
to get a range or afford a range? Well over 100,000.
Okay. How much debt do you think you'll be able to carry in order
to get the range?
Yeah.
You have to clean it up,
Right.
but little to none.
I say this because in order to have something quality, there's a vetting process.
Correct.
So before that dealership give you the keys to a range, you can't have no 500 credit score and drive a range.
They're not even gonna have that conversation with
You can't even, like, they can look at you and see how you dress and know how you carry yourself that you can't afford this range.
Yeah.
You can't have a 500 credit score. You can't, unfortunately, be a custodian, depending on whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You can't have 100K in debt,
Mm-hmm.
you know? So anything of value, there should be some kind of vetting process to determine who's worthy of having this thing. I even look at, okay, so to your point, again, especially something, unfortunately, I hate to say it this way, this is why the Kevin Samuels of the world were, sort of canceled, but to your point, their biology, kind of gets worse as they get into their 30s and 40s. So a depreciating asset to a degree, you got to be very specific about how you allow someone to access you. And I even look at myself now, bro. I'm a Wraith, feel me?
Mm-hmm.
I'm a Rolls Royce, at least I think.
Mm-hmm.
Why should any woman have access to me?
Respectfully.
Like physically.
Respectfully.
So like I value myself so much more now. And granted, I'm in a relationship as well, but even before, it's like I'm him.
Yeah, respectfully.
I know myself. I know God. I have a purpose. I'm tolerant. I'm patient. Why should you have access to me just because you have certain body parts? Like, nah. And
Men should think like that.
Yeah.
That's how men should think. I think it should be. I don't think anybody shouldn't be able to touch you. Any woman shouldn't be able to get next to you. Any woman shouldn't have your transparency. They shouldn't be able to experience every part of you. Like, that's just what it is, bro.
Mm-hmm.
But when you don't have that type of mentality or have that mindset or no discipline,
I was gonna say
like
that's
you talked about earlier,
that's the piece.
you're going to let anything. You're going to literally let your lust just have its way.
Word.
Now you take one for the team.
Right.
That you hitting
Yeah.
whoever, whenever.
Bro, I'm not driving no Honda Civics, bro. I ain't driving no 2000, nah, bro. Give me a Wraith. Feel
I
me?
used to think it was a crazy. So I'm gonna be honest. Like I said, I grew up with girls. So my experience, I was kind of the oddball in my mind when I went out with guys, right? When I finally gravitated to guys and, guys would go out and everything like that. When 3 a.m. used to hit and it was walkout time and like we leaving here with something, that mentality, I never understood it. Because to me, it was weird. Like, all right, so I'm like, all right, so you had your chance during the night to try and secure what you could secure. We leaving out the doors. We in the parking lot with it. Now it's, bro, I need something to come home with me.
The bottom of the barrel.
Bro, the things the things that I seen go home with dudes.
Yeah, terrible.
Bro.
Terrible.
I'm gonna be real. Some of the things that they left with, I question their manhood.
Yes.
Like, you will sleep with that? All right. The feeling is that good. Like, sex is good. It ain't that good. Like, I can't do this
Shit,
shit.
who you telling? Let me stop.
I think as men, I think we also had to have discernment when a woman is like a vintage car, but a lemon. Beautiful.
Mhm.
Right? Like, them old caddies that just be clean, that be at the car shows. Like, it's amazing. But there's nothing in it.
Yeah, bro.
Like, it's just, you
only
just
ride it so often.
you just cool to look at. You only get, we only drive you about once a year because there's nothing there.
Right.
I think that has to be like explored too. Because it would drop men's ego and women's level of delusion.
Mm-hmm.
Because the delusional part comes in, like I said earlier, with the intuition and the whole, like, I deserve this type of man.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you think, maybe. But in return, what will make him look for you?
Mm-hmm.
I think that gotta be explored all day
Oh,
long.
1000%, bro. Like again, we protect the outer man while the inner man is dying. Um, bro, if you're a woman and yeah, you attractive, but you worship like low hanging fruit, Maslow's hierarchy of needs. The low hanging fruit is food, water, clothing, and shelter. Granted, you need it, but it's material things.
Mhm.
The higher you get, the highest level of Maslow's hierarchy of need is self actualization. So, which level are you operating on? Are you operating on this level or this level? You can be as bad as Lauren London, but if you just like dumb in the head, it's like, yo, I don't want to be able to converse with you for X amount of hours or text you or call you, take you on this many dates, just for what? And then get the post nut clarity, and it's like, God damn, why
Yeah,
the hell I
like-
do all that, bro?
Yeah.
So it's like, I value myself so much more now, bro. Like, I'm not about to allow anybody to have access to me.
Mhm.
You could be a 64 Impala, but your engine light is on.
Trash.
This is where I blame men. So this is something
You finally blaming
So
us, bro.
look, so
You feel me?
look, when women come on and watch the show, they're like, he don't blame men, but not. This is something I absolutely blame.
Cancel
men.
him. Let me stop. I'm joking. I'm
So-
joking.
What's up, y'all? If y'all like with this conversation that we've been having, the inner circle, man. First of all, if you want to be a guest, feel free to hit us up, man. We're gonna look into your credentials, see who you are. If you fit the criteria, then feel free to sit down on this couch right here, the hot seat. And another thing, like, subscribe, and lock in with us on all social media platforms. Our Friendly Advice. And to visit our website is ourfriendlyadvice.net. You can book us there. Y'all enjoy the rest of your day.